Hello and welcome to a trip down memory lane for me. Most people my age can safely say at some point they saw a James Bond film in theaters. Some may be able to say which film it was, and maybe even fewer can say what theater or at least what city they saw it in. In my case, the first Bond film ever seen in theaters was 1989's License to Kill. The city was Pennsauken, New Jersey. The theater was located near the Pennsauken Mart, which has since been demolished. Matter of fact, both buildings are no longer in existence. And if anybody's thinking is assuming that I am thinking about the theater that has since become a kitchen supply warehouse store that's located on Route 38 near a fucking Benihana's. Also, a Wendy's is in that same general location. No, because that theater that became the aforementioned kitchen supply warehouse wasn't built till the late 1990s. In fact, and that theater was notorious for not have that was the Hoyts Theater, HOYTS, and it never had any new releases in it. That damn theater was still showing Star Wars Episode 1 a year after it came out. So, give you an idea of like my memory. I won't say a year, but it was hanging out. That movie was lingering in that theater for long after its expiration date. That's for damn sure. Anyway, now the first Bond film I ever seen, however, was on VHS, and I've narrowed it down to two because we had in our video home library nearly all of the Bond films from Connery up from like Doctor No up through The Living Daylight starring Timothy Dalton. But if again narrowing it down, I know the first Bond film was one of two films: From Russia with Love or You Only Live Twice. Yes, this is what prompted me to talk about this on for this particular video, because I happened to find this in another portion of the house. This is not the house I grew up in as a kid, but this been in this house for a very long time regardless. So why am I not certain over which I saw first, From Russia with Love or this You Only Live Twice? Both films were part of the Connery Classics collection, as indicated here. Both films had a Pink Panther shirt on it. This one had Pickle Pink on it. And both films we had in my family's home library, home video library. At the time, we were living out in the countryside here in South Jersey. I don't remember the name of the town exactly, but I remember I would have watched it in my parents' bedroom on a small, I want to say 16-inch TV VCR combo, because the VCR, it was like the TV on top, VCR on the bottom. So it's like that's kind of like the strong memories I have there. And it was about the same time. I want to say it was either before. Yeah, it would have been before my younger brother was born too. So because I remember going back and forth to bus on school, but my brother wasn't born yet. So those memories and stuff are kind of strong there in that regard. Now I can safely say You Only Live Twice is probably the one Bond film I've watched the most out of all of them. So, which is quite probably raising a question as why You Only Live Twice is the Bond film you watched the most. Probably because, and I'm really reaching here on that with it. It was the most different out of all the Bond films, which I'm guessing I would have to say it is the most different, at least in terms of casting and in terms of setting. Because you think about it, it's the one Bond film. I take that back. It's one of a few Bond films where it's clearly the character of James Bond is a fish out of water. He is not in his usual element. In this case, he is going under deep cover in Japan. So deep cover that they put him in, I guess you would on it, yellow face, I guess it would be. So that particular aspect of You Only Live Twice probably hasn't aged well. In fact, I know it hasn't aged well, but then again, it is something that stands out. But there is just something about where you see like Sean Connery is like just towering over nearly everyone else that's in the film. It's just he looks like a damn giant next to everyone else. And now I'm only 5'6". I mean, you stand me and now my younger brother, my brother is over 6 feet tall. And it's like I have to look up to him even though I'm older than him. So there is just the visual aspect of it that just stands out. It also probably has the most shocking Bond opening of all time, at least of those early Bond films. Okay, it's like Bond is quote unquote killed in the prelude. Also, I like the song "You Only Live Twice" by Nancy Sinatra. I always think of it as like it's being one of the better Bond themes in my personal opinion. Now, I do have some distinct memories of of when I've actually sat down and watched this particular video cassette, and a couple of them have actually involved family. Uh, Shit. Family gatherings. In particular, one at least two bar mitzvahs and one bat mitzvahs for members of the extended family. The two bar mitzvahs were for I guess cousins that were like twice or three times removed from my direct family lineage. So it was like, so the whole kit and caboodle there was going to my grandparents' house, who lived in Cherry Hill at the time, and I would take a movie with me both times, and it ended up being You Only Live Twice on both occasions. So there is that distinct memory there. It's like my grandmother raised an eyebrow the second time because both bar mitzvahs were like, I'm gonna say almost the same year. So like that same year, or like it was in a very short period of time, like within like a 12 at most maybe 14-month time frame. And with the one bat mitzvah, it was for like a direct cousin. And I want to say, I'm trying to think, did my dad go to that one? He did. So I would have watched it the night before, because we would have gone from here over into because my oldest cousin's bat mitzvah was at a hotel in or near Philadelphia. So there is so there are those particular memories of itself. There was also one summer, I want to think it was either my freshman or sophomore year in high school. My younger brother was going to a day camps. So there was like, and these day camps were mostly in the morning to like early afternoon. So when he come home, okay, he has lunch and we sit down and we watched almost every movie that we had in the collection, and we went through every Bond film. So at that time as well. So at that point in time, my brother would have been about the same age I was when I was watching Bond films for the first time. So, because there is a distinct gap. It's like I'm 7 years older than my younger brother, so you can do the math there. Over when I was introducing Bond films to him. So again, just some strong memories and stuff like that. But either which way, kind of cool. Now, again, I was surprised I found this in the collection. I also found some other VHS tapes too, and I think I'll talk about them at some point in time. By the way, if anyone's wondering, I did upgrade to the DVD version in like the early 2000s when the James Bond DVD releases were coming out, and I can safely say I prefer the box art on the VHS tape because it just looks cooler. This actually looks like a movie poster. This just looks lazy. It's just my personal opinion. Anyway, thank you for indulging me and so forth, and we'll see you every night over on Twitch because that's what I do when I'm not working. Okay. See you next. Talk to you later, folks. Awkward endings are awkward.